Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Ramin from the American Institute. I have two guests with me here, and I would like them to introduce themselves, and then we can continue the program. Please introduce yourself.
Should I look at you or should I look at the...
Please look at the camera and then me.
Right.
Both of them.
My name is Emil Mini. I'm from South Africa and I work at the British School in Tashkent.
Lovely, lovely.
My name is Lee J. Heller. I'm American and I'm currently working for Uzbek Ministry of Education teaching at public schools.
Okay, lovely, lovely. Well, we're both American, we're both from New York, actually. You were born in New York, I was raised in New York. Wonderful. Emil, what is it that, well, you said you're from South Africa and you're also teaching. Please tell us a little bit about South Africa and also tell us some of the languages that you know.
Oh, wow, that's
Yes,
a big
please.
question. So, I don't know if you're aware of it, but South Africa has 11 official languages.
Oh, really? Wow.
So, after apartheid, they tried to make it really inclusive.
Okay.
So, on our coins, even on our coins, the 11 languages featured. Each language is on a different coin, but they've really tried to make all the languages heard, all the cultures understood. So, that's a big thing for our country. The lingua franca that is English, so most people speak English.
Okay.
But there's also Sotho and Tswana and Xhosa.
Do you speak all of them?
They've got those clicks, Xhosa. I can do the basics because there's so many, you know.
Oh,
and
right,
because
right.
most people speak, or all people speak English, it actually makes us a bit lazy. So we stay with English.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there any other language aside from the African languages and South African language that you would know?
Yes. So my mother tongue is Afrikaans, and Afrikaans is like a very simplified Dutch.
Okay.
It's like a baby Dutch. And then during my life, I've learned French, German, and Portuguese as well. And I've done a bit of Russian, spending time in Uzbekistan, you know.
Oh, very nice, very nice. We'll get back to how you learned those languages in a bit. Lijie, please tell us a little bit about how did you get here and some of the languages that you know.
Sure, so I'll keep it brief because it's a big story, but as an American, maybe you're different than me, but I grew up in an American education system, which means I speak English and bad English. But I'm trying to give the students of Afghanistan my good English.
Uzbekistan.
Yes.
Yes, Uzbekistan. Very good. So you only speak English?
Yes, I've lived in 6 other countries, including Uzbekistan, and I try to learn at least hello and thank you. I think that's the most important thing to do in order to be polite in every country I'm in.
Tell me some of the countries you have been.
So my first teaching job was in Thailand, in Phuket and outside of Bangkok. Then I was in Hong Kong, Taiwan, Poland, and Spain. I just did my master's degree in teaching and American studies in Madrid, and then I came to Tashkent.
Wow, that's quite a lot. Just to continue with the thing. So basically, are you teaching English?
That's correct.
Okay, and you also did your master's in just teaching English or just general teaching?
Just general teaching, learn methodology, different things to do that I can utilize in the classroom.
Now, one of the things that, just to continue with what you are saying, is that the 20th century education system is a little bit different now. 21st century, we're trying to do something different. Could you talk a little bit about that education system and what are you implementing the new curriculum, or what are some of the new things that you're doing in your classroom, or things that are available now and people are talking about it and doing it?
Sure. Well, personally, I think the traditional standard way of education, especially for foreign language learners, is just kind of have a book and you teach from the book.
Exactly.
And we have a book that we are given to teach from in the classroom, but I've also been given a lot of freedom to more or less do whatever I want, what I think is in the best interest and most usefulness in the classroom. So my main goal, I tell this to my students almost every day, is my main goal is to help you speak English and speak English well, because you can get 100% in the textbook, but if you can't speak any of this, then it's all for naught. So my main motivation is to encourage them to speak. A lot of students are a lot more confident, a lot more shy than others, but I've overall been very impressed with the English language skill from the students and just people in Tashkent and Uzbekistan in general.
Cool. Emil, now let's talk about your journey here. Yes, definitely. I know you're also a musician, a good musician. Let's talk a little bit more about you and your experiences.
So I taught for a few years in South Africa. I taught music. And then one day, there was a day when that ended and I became a full-time musician because I just felt the time was right. I'd been doing it part-time for many years, and then the day came when it was a full-time job. I made enough money, more than in teaching, so I thought, okay, I'll just follow this full-time. And that I did for 15 years.
Wow.
So it was me and my piano, traveling all over South Africa, one-man band.
Wow.
There are all kinds of venues, theatres, under thorn trees, school halls, the whole spectrum was covered. But it really helped me develop a stage persona, because that's something you're not really born with. You need to work at that. I'm actually a very shy person. I'm very private.
You are shy?
Very shy. But you develop this persona that when the lights go on and you're in front of people, that can kind of run the show. So it was a great journey that was 15 years doing it full time. And then COVID started. So when COVID started, everything ended. I thought teaching is a good thing to fall back on, and now I'm doing both.
All right.
I'm doing teaching, but I'm also performing, and I'm working with the most amazing musicians here in Tashkent.
Really?
Such lovely musicians. What is really nice here is there's a strong tradition of improvisation. So getting together and just jamming on their instruments as a group without rehearsing, just playing from the heart. And that is a tradition that is new for me. So I've always done it with my small group of friends, but here it's much more common. People are doing it. People are playing, yes. And that's so wonderful to be part of that, because improvisation is a lovely skill to work at, and it brings people together in an amazing way. You've seen us do it at the Echo Club, at the Speaking Club, how we just get together and create something.
Yes.
So yeah, it's good for my heart to be playing music with other musicians.
Oh, lovely. Now, speaking on the music side, in jamming, so you are a pianist basically. You're a piano man.
Yes, I play piano and sing, and also I play the clarinet.
Oh,
that is one of my big instruments.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can't sing and play clarinet. I still need to work on that skill. So now I sing, because then you can sing and accompany on the piano.
Okay. And now you said that the first 15 years you were doing music. Now, so were you doing clarinet and piano and singing and all of them?
All of it, playing in orchestras and bands and doing the solo shows. Because when you are a musician, you've got to be quite versatile to make a living. You can't just say, I'm just going to do one thing. I think it's, especially in the country of South Africa, where it's not that developed yet. So you've got to be willing to play at the hotel while people have breakfast, and do a show at night, and play at somebody's wedding, and be the wedding singer. So there's quite a lot of things that you've got to be willing to do.
You know, at some point we need to find a piano or a clarinet or something so you can perform a little bit here.
Yes,
but we're looking forward to that. Wonderful. Vijay, you said you've been to these all countries, and you actually gotten your master's from Spain?
Yes.
And how, like, from these countries that you have visited and seen and all of that, what are some of the unique things that you remember and would like to go back and experience again from each country?
Well, always, everything I say is every country always has its unique culture, language, and food.
Of course.
And I feel like food and language are really what create a unique culture. So even in the countries that I've lived in, there's even subsects of cultures that nobody talks about that they've been to. Like even in Taiwan, there's the indigenous population, they have the indigenous food. Hong Kong, there's people from all over the world. It's the most multicultural city I've ever lived in. I always say it's like New York City on steroids, right? Anytime, day, you can get any food from anywhere in the world that you like. So I honestly just like traveling, having different experiences, but mostly the food, culture. And speaking of improvisation, I guess I should bring it up. I actually used to do improv comedy when I was younger, and I was actually in an improv comedy troupe in Hong Kong, and we got to perform around Asia, and that was a lot of fun. So maybe we can do something like that here. I just got here 2 months ago, so I'm ready to get, interesting things happening in Tashkent.
Cool.
Can I connect with that, or do you have
Of course,
question?
yeah, please.
So this improv troupe you are with, we have a similar one in South Africa. It's called playback theatre. So it's a little bit like Whose Line Is It Anyway, like that program. But the playback theatre is about people's stories. So the audience shares stories from their lives. People tell true stories, and they can be funny, but they can also be serious or sad. They can be any kind of story, like we've done before. Yeah. And the performers, actors and musicians, take that story and they create something artistic around it. They find the essence and play it back in a creative way. Make a song of it, make a dance out of it, make a piece of drama out of it. But that is so wonderful for the people who tell their stories, because they feel heard, they feel seen, and we all get a window into that person's life. And it's a bit of a shared humanity there, because we all have, our stories are very similar. They have different characters, but the story, the essence is often very similar in our lives. So yes, for creating something improvisational with comedy, with music, that's a wonderful idea.
Well, one of the things that, I mean, I don't want to be left behind. I also done improv.
There we go. Share.
And that's why you're here. Yes.
That's also and bring it up. Yes, when I was in university, so for a couple of years, we were doing this something like called improv night. So basically every Friday or something like that, we would have done improv night. So yeah, maybe one day we should all get together and do a little, a number, a little something.
Well, I was going to say on my end, it was more or less like Whose Line Is it Anyway style short improv games.
Yeah.
But what we did specifically, or especially because we were based in Hong Kong, which again, they speak Mandarin and Cantonese there. So often we would do improv games or skits with different languages.
Oh, wow.
Went to Japan, so we would be talking to each other in different languages, not even what we're saying, and still improving from that. So it's also a great way to have fun and engage in intercultural communication, which again is really important, just fun for me.
Yeah. You can even use gibberish as a language, because it's all about the intention behind it.
The body language, definitely can tell you something. Now, you said something that you said New York on steroid, and I'm a New York snob. So I have to talk about this.
Yes.
So, I mean, I know we're both from New York. You were born there, and I was raised there, and all of that. But so basically, what in New York is like so full of energy. It's called the city that never sleeps. So, which city did you equate to New York on steroid? Which I would love to visit it.
Hong Kong. I'll put it like this: how late do dance clubs stay open in New York City?
Well, when I was young, it was up to 4, but
Hong Kong is 7 in the morning.
Oh my God.
And let's go from there.
Oh,
First Saturday night,
right.
7 a.m. I'm like, whoa, the sun's coming up. I better go back to sleep. But again, that was a lot when I was younger as well.
So is that a cosmopolitan city that everybody from everywhere comes?
Like I said, meet so many people from all over the world. Like I said, any type of food that you want, any time of the day. It's a really great place.
You know what's a nice addition to that is in Buenos Aires they have Sunday afternoon dances. They call it a tea dance. I don't know if it comes from England or where it comes from. But in Buenos Aires you can go to a club and go dancing on a Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. 7 o'clock in the evening it's done and people go home and they're fresh for the next day with a bounce in their step. So it's a Sunday afternoon disco.
Wow.
Which is, hey, look.
It's, maybe I should start something here. Or a Saturday.
Wow, yeah.
Sunday here. All right, let's talk about our experiences in Uzbekistan. I mean, I know that, not a lot of people know about Uzbekistan. How did you found out about these opportunities here, and what is your experience in Uzbekistan so far? I know you've been here for 2 months, but let's just start with you.
Sure. I'll try to be brief. So obviously I was just in Madrid. I did my master's degrees. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for my next adventure. And I was this close to going to China.
Okay.
But then I discovered this opportunity through the education ministry. Okay. And as you said, most people don't even, I feel again, as American, I feel like most Americans don't even know Central Asia in general, let alone Uzbekistan. I've always been very fascinated by this region of the world because just for the fact that nobody talks about it. It's never news, but obviously there's lots of history here. So when the opportunity came up, I'm like, I want to come here and have this experience because also why I'm here is this new initiative put forth by the president of Uzbekistan to bring these English teachers to the country to teach in public schools, and I really want to be a part of that.
So you're part of that wave of new teachers?
I believe it's I think they might have tried it during the pandemic, but obviously this is like the first official full year of bringing the English teachers to Tashkent.
Cool.
Wow.
What was your, why Uzbekistan? How did it happen?
Well, as I said, it was COVID and there was all the music ended, and so there was an interesting advertisement. It was online and it looked exotic. The word Uzbekistan, I'd never heard the word before. I thought, wow, this is something I must try. Definitely. And I like to try new things.
Okay.
So I thought I'm gonna jump in, and 2 weeks later I was here. So it really happened very quickly. I had the interview online, liked the principal, we liked each other. He organized paperwork and I was here. And you know what's interesting? When I started looking around and finding my feet here, this country feels a little bit like South Africa in the 80s to me. very similar. Time when I was growing up in the 80s, I get that same feeling here of quite a safe country. Things are in place and people are friendly, people are quite open. So I feel right at home.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
No, a lot of people, or some people, are actually equating Uzbekistan with, let's just say, 1980s Dubai.
Oh, really?
Kind of like, because you have a lot of opportunities. It's a growing country. So I guess you're not that.
Yeah, and there's a lovely quality about the people. There's a playful spirit in the
Yeah,
people.
let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Your experience, and I'll ask you the same thing. So what's your experience like being here? First, how long have you been here?
That's my 4th year.
4th year.
Yes,
wow.
it's been a while.
So you're the senior here among us. I've been here a year and a half, so.
Okay.
all right. So what has been your, like, some of the things that you discovered about Uzbekistan that was not?
Well, the country really opened up for me when I started making Uzbek friends.
Okay.
And the young people in Uzbekistan, the 20s, they're in their 20s, they speak English extremely well. There's a huge drive amongst the young people. So I met this guy, Rahim John. He is 24. Okay. And he has got the mind of a 50-year-old.
Wow.
So he and I have become very good friends, and he has taken me to his hometown, Hazron, which is near Navai city.
Okay.
I've stayed with him and his family for a while, and I've really seen the culture, I've seen the people, and what I've noticed is there's a warm-heartedness, open arms. People are so welcoming in this country. They have a very high regard for guests. So when you're a guest in the home, you're treated very well. And it's a wonderful feeling to experience that. And then just generally on the street, they're very curious because they haven't met many foreigners. So they want to talk to me, they have many questions. And as I said, there's playfulness, there's an innocence, there's a lovely quality that's where the West, I feel, has become a little bit jaded over the years. It hasn't arrived here yet. People are still have a lovely quality. And I like the people I've met here.
Lovely.
Some good friends.
That is good. That is wonderful. I know you're new, but what has been your experience like in coming here? Of course, what is Uzbekistan? Where is it? And all of this, and then all of a sudden you're finding all of these new things.
Sure. So I wanted to say, when I was doing my research, deciding whether I was coming or not, everything, whether it was like people's YouTube videos or just articles I read, everybody always said that nobody speaks English and you can't use credit cards here. And so when I get here, I found out both of those are false, right? So everybody, like most people I've met have spoken English, and those that don't are really interested and want to try. And of course, I can use my cards anywhere I want. But it was more about, just like you said, people have been so friendly. Probably the friendliest people that I've been with overseas so far. So that's high praise.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're just running out of time for now. But thank you for sharing all the experiences. Just to tell you a little bit about. To sum it up, not only the people, but the food is great as well. I think you should all agree with this.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So thank you all. Hopefully we'll see you next time. And thank you to both of my guests for coming over here.
No
Big
problem.
pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, everybody.